This is a crazy story. Feels like the sort of thing that's going to at least end up on a nice Dateline, if not a Netflix series of its own. Had a couple people email me about this. So there's a teacher
Hey now.
at Highland Park.
Hey now.
I think they've probably been relieved of their duties for now. However,
Name?
this does not involve a teacher-student sex story, so your hey nows are fine for now. This is actually involving a quarter-century-old cold case of something that took place in North Carolina. It's back in February of 2000. There was a 9-year-old girl named Asha Degree. She went missing. She was a 9-year-old black girl. And this teacher at Highland Park, I believe, was 14 or 15 at the time. And her sister, and her father in North Carolina were all kind of persons of interest at the time that this little girl disappeared. But they're only in the last month or so getting new information, new warrants, new DNA. And they have some questions for this teacher at Highland Park. Of which she has been evasive. They approached her at school, at Highland Park Middle School. She basically told them to buzz off. They asked her for a polygraph. She said no. And then they got the text messages between her sister, and her father. And there's a lot of talk about this murder. Like, they think I did it. They think she did. They think Dad did it.
The text exchange,
Yeah.
saying they think you did it or whatever.
Yeah. They found this girl's book bag like 6 years later. And in that book bag were some of her belongings, the 9-year-old who's missing, but also a couple things that weren't hers, including a book from her school library that she did not check out and another little girl's T-shirt. So they've got that. Wrapped in garbage bags, they found that, about 20 miles north of where she disappeared. They had eyes on a vehicle that she was said to have been getting into, an old beat up.
So never found the girl, never found the body.
No.
Right.
Beat up old green vehicle. When they served these search warrants on their properties in the last half year, they found the beat up old green vehicle. And there's also a witness that came forward and said that at a house party in the mid 2000s, so let's say this is 5 years after the incident, the two sisters were at a party. The younger one was extremely intoxicated and was upset, crying, talking about how she had killed 9-year-old Asha. At which point her older sister told her to shut the front door and stop crying.
Is older sister the teacher?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think the older sister was 16. The younger sister from Highland Park was 13 or 14.
Oh, the younger sister was the one crying.
I think so, yeah. Who was probably
Saying
at that
she killed
point
her.
18 or 19. But yeah, and the text messages are very damning.
Dude, are people going to learn that your text, you can't just then delete your text?
You know what else? As part of this, I read the warrant, and there's stuff in there about how, like, they can force you to look at or use your finger to unlock something if they have a warrant. Like, so let's say that your phone or your computer you think you're all slick, Snowden, and it can only do your face. There's actually a way that law, at least in North Carolina, is written where it says something like, have permission to compel the subject to unlock phone via physical. They're going to get your shit if they want it.
Like if you have a safe at home.
Yeah.
And they get a warrant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way that it's written is very, very specific of, like, you're going to give them what they want. So in the case of this girl, she was in bed that night. Her dad came in and saw her in bed, the 9-year-old, at 2:30 in the morning. She was in bed. The next time she was seen, she was walking on a freeway. This is in the country in North Carolina at 4 o'clock in the morning. 2 truckers saw her, say that they saw her. One of them stopped and tried to make contact but failed to do so. You got to imagine, that's got to be tough. Like, let's say you're out in...
You're a trucker.
You're in the middle of
nowhere. You see a 9-year-old walking.
Like, whoa, what the... And then you got to wait for your next exit or pull over. Like, it's just not easy.
Yeah.
So no, that's the last time anybody made contact for it.
So
Or
this
with-
is a 9-year-old was a black girl teacher.
Everyone else
White
here
or
is
black?
white.
Okay.
But again, yeah, this is apparently very hot on. They're taking a break from Akator to post in the Highland Park Moms group about this, and everyone's like, "Wasn't here. Wasn't here. This person did something racist. It wasn't here." And if you read through the text messages, also, it's tough to tell who's covering for who. Whether it's the dad covering for the girl or the girl's covering for the dad, but somebody in this family killed this girl.
I would think it'd be less. Well, based on my situation, it would be less likely that the girls would ever cover for the dad.
Man, I don't know though. Yeah, and I know what you mean, but some backwoods Southern family, like if there is a racial component to it. But there is also some signs of the Roast twins in the text messages where they're like, "This is not our problem. We're tired of taking care of his stuff. Like we don't need to keep having to live this way." And yeah. So again, it feels like this is going to become a national story.